Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Tryon. Welcome back. We're doing so much great crafting today, and I've got out my Cricut now, the Cricut Joy Extra. If you we'll put a link in the comments to all the cool Black Friday deals from Cricut, both from Cricut.com and from TSC. Lots of great deals happening, lots of clearance. So I thought I'd point that out today, and for anybody who's interested in, doing some cricketing with me, I am going to make some family pajamas. And take a look at this is my tester one. This is all of us, and we are dancing on a block of wood as elves. I'll lift it up so you can see it even a little bit closer. I basically just put our faces on these funny elf bodies and then said Merry Christmas and put the date. And I'm using the printable iron-on paper for light fabrics. These are part of the new line from Cricut, which I'm having so much fun with, because basically until now, you kind of, when you were doing iron-on, you had to kind of layer up vinyl. Now you can just send this through your home printer, and it's on iron-on like adhesive. And I'm going to use the big AUTOPRESS and show you how I'm going to just churn out these shirts. And honestly, this is going to be the fastest I ever make our Christmas pajamas. Some years I'm embroidering, other years I'm making them right from scratch. Kill me. But I always want to, but halfway through, I'm like, what was I thinking? This way, I'm just taking a plain white t-shirt and the pajama pants that, we already own. Everybody's got stuff like this, and just pairing them up. And I think it's going to be super cute. So I've got a whole family one. I want the whole family on mine, but I know the kids are going to want, they're probably their own face. So let's get going. I'll set these out of the way, and I'll show you on Design Space how I'm making the elves. Because it is pretty cool to be able to customize your own photos like this, especially when you're gonna print them out. So I'm just gonna wake up my printer. I've got it here. And when you're in Cricut Design Space, so this is Design Space here, and I'm gonna show you all of the elves because I've worked on this for a little bit. They're here. And so when you work on a project and you save it in Design Space, you can always come back to it. And that's what I'm doing here. But I want to show you. So I've got Xavier's here, Violet, Ruby, and then all of us. Mike and I can just use the whole family on our pajamas, but maybe we'll put this on the back of theirs or on the arm or something like that, just to be, just so they remember us sometimes at Christmas. Anyway, these are kind of good to go, but so I'll print out, or get some going. But I do think, well, once this starts printing, then Design Space will be used up. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go back, I'll open a new project, and I'll give you the gist of how you could customize your own like this, because I'd love to see it. If you're not a part of the Jennifer Tryon homemade Facebook group, then join it, because then you can post all these pictures and everybody in the homemade group will see it. And that's always fun. So if you want to upload a photo, you can see we've been uploading some things. My Halloween costume, here's all our faces. You can upload an image from your computer. So if you just browse and you have a photo that you want to use, see, this is for my Halloween costume. And you can basically pull any photo you want. So I had these photos of the kids, just whatever I could get, like a close-up. And then I removed the background from it. So with Ruby's here, you can see I just left her hair. And so let's add it to the canvas. And the picture kind of cut off her head, but I thought that was okay, because then I would just be able to add the funny elf hat. Now, I'm going to be printing these out on these papers that are 8.5 by 11. So I want to make sure my image is going to fit on that paper. So keep that in mind as you're building your elf. So I'm going to go over to images now, just on the left-hand side here on this ribbon. And I'm just going to type in elf and see what comes up. There's thousands and thousands of images here on Design Space, and you can kind of find one that you can put your own face on. So there's a body without a head. That's kind of good. I could plunk her face into this one. Let's see what else. This is cute. Let me see. Oh, there's a good hat. We're going to need some hats too. Let me just take a look at some bodies that might work. Let's see here. There's separate elf legs, so I can always choose, you know, a different body and then pick some elf legs. I'm going to type in elf body and see if that helps narrow it down. Let's see. That's like the movie Elf. So let me know in the comments, are you guys a family PJs type family, or were you, when you had kids at home, are you open the Christmas pajamas on Christmas Eve type? That's how we always did it growing up. If we got pajamas, we got to open them on Christmas Eve as a Christmas Eve present, because we were always dying to open a present. And it was always pajamas. All right, let's go back here and just pick. I think we'll have to go with that. All right, I'm going to pick this one, add to canvas. And so now we've got this body and the random head. And we need to make the two kind of match up. This is not the body, though, that I used before. Let me just look one more time, because I think there might be a better one on here. And sometimes you just have to keep searching because there's so many. I also think this one would be kind of good because she's got that long hair flowing through. And we could use a hat, so we can add that to the canvas while we're at it. All right, good enough. Let's bring this over, and we'll try to bring this to the front, so her hair kind of hides some of that body, so it looks a little more natural. So under arrange right here, if you want to bring an image to the front, so bring to the front, and now her hair is in front of that elf. There we go. Looks a little more natural, as natural as this can be. And then we could plunk this hat on her. Maybe it's a little large. We could shrink it up. But I think we also want to bring the hat to the front so it's not going behind her head. So again, arrange and then bring to the front. And honestly, these are funny. Make it a little bigger. And then, like, how about like a little tilt or something? Should it be like askew a little bit? Let's see. We want to make sure we're covering the flat part that got cut off. There we go. All right. So now we've got these 3, 1, 2, and then the body 3 images that right now are just basic cuts. And so I want these to all actually be print and cut. So up here under operation, I need to go print and then cut. That's going to make this an image that's going to print out first. And the other thing I want to do is I want to put all these together and flatten them. That way they all print out together. Like it becomes one image. But I don't want the Cricut to suddenly start cutting everywhere there's a blank space. I want this just to be one big image. So I'm going to offset this. And that's going to give me a border around, see that? The border around the entire elf. And you can make it bigger or smaller or whatever you want to do. And so I'm going to make it pretty big, but actually first I'm going to go ahead and add some text. So I can put like her name, Ruby, and let's find a elfier font. Let's see if there's like a Christmas one. Something like this would be cute. Yeah, that's cute. And we can kind of make it like underneath her. We could have it curve up or down. We could put the date underneath. We kind of put it like to the side. We could add a few like little stars, little cute like twinkles kind of thing. Let's look under images if there's any like twinkling stars. I'm just going to type in twinkle and see what happens. Yeah, like these. Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to add this, but these aren't really Christmas colors. So let's see if I can edit this once I get it onto the canvas. Okay, too big for what we need. So let's smush it down. Just select it and drag and I can let's see if I can so when I click on, see how this is grouped? When I click on the whole thing, it's one image. But when I go over here on the right and I click on just that purple one, then I can come over here and change the color of the purple one. So let's make that red. Let's make this big one like maybe even a darker red, something like this, and then a green. So we're kind of sticking with our traditional Christmassy colors here. And like we could just twinkle all around her. So let's make this kind of come all the way around her. So I can just duplicate this. So under edit, you can copy and then you can paste, or you could just press duplicate and then press duplicate again. So we have a couple. That way you're not having to do the same thing over and over when, you know, it's like something like this. And rotate them a little so it doesn't look like you've just copied and pasted something. Cute. So once you've got it how you want it, and I could put a little like 2023 or whatever else you wanted to do, like a little Merry Christmas, something like that. Add some more text. And it's automatically coming into that font, which is nice. So let's go. That looks cute. But we don't want it going across the middle. Let's have it take the curve. So up here near curve, we can curve that font any way we want. That's cute. And we could kind of slide it Whoops. Not too much. And rotate it. Kind of on the angles, cute. Okay, once you have your design however you want it, you could kind of play all day at this. Then you can go ahead and do that offset that I was talking about. Oh, the other thing I was thinking is maybe if we make a couple of these bigger and a couple of them smaller, they'll look a little more customized too. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach all of this together. Since this is now one image, I can flatten it. And now it's all a big print and cut image. But I want to offset all of this because I don't want the Cricut to cut out each one of these little star snowflakes on their own. I just want it to cut around the whole thing. And I'm just going to iron on the entire image because I know the iron-on is invisible anyway, so you're not going to see it in between, so I'm fine with that. So grab the image, just highlight it. Now press offset, and it's going to basically give you, it's going to fill in those gaps so that it's giving the Cricut a cut line, essentially. And so now I don't have any of those spaces in the middle. It's just going to cut all the way around. So see if I made this smaller, how it would start. See, these are all now cut lines in the middle. We don't really need that. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to take longer. So I'm going to make this big enough so we don't have any cut lines in it. And ouch, we do not want it to print black. So we're going to make this white in behind. And then that way, it'll be colorless in behind. Okay. So now see, we've got an offset and we've got this. We don't want these things to be two separate images because in the Cricut's brain, it'll print this, and then it'll print this, and it'll cut this, and then it'll cut this. No, we want this all to be one thing. So let's highlight everything now and flatten it one more time. There we go. Now, when we try to move it, it's all one image. So I can press Make It. Now I've got my Cricut Joy Extra selected. Oh no, the image is too large. Okay, fine, no problem. That's true. I should have noticed it's 12 and a half by 12 and a half almost. So I'm going to shrink this down, just drag it and shrink it so that it will fit onto an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, now, come on. All right, fine. A little bit smaller. Make it. There we go. So now it's large enough. I should have known because it needs to have room for the calibration lines. And for this particular project, you do not need to mirror it because it's on, so this is the iron-on paper. And we're going to put it directly into the printer. So I'm just going to take a bunch of these sheets because I have some other ones already made too. So I'm just going to print them all out. So it does need to be an inkjet printer, and almost any printer works. Cricut, when I was talking to them, when we had this on TSC, they said they tested like so many printers and there was no problem. So I'm sure whatever printer you've got at home, it's going to be just fine. So now you'll see in Design Space, it gives you the option to send it to your printer first. And so I've got my printer selected and I'm going to go ahead and print it. And it's asking me which material I'm going to cut on. So it's going ahead and printing right now. So we can see that over there, it's going to come out. And I'm going to say here on my computer, I am doing the printable iron-on light. So I'm just selecting printable iron-on. And so now, looks cute. Now when I go to print this out, or when I go to cut it, excuse me. The Cricut can now read where the lines are. So when I add it, it's waiting. The machine now is waiting for the mat. So I'm just feeding that in. So now it's looking at those calibration lines, and that's how it's going to know exactly where to cut. And all I have to do is press go. There we go. I gotta say, I'm loving the size of the Cricut Joy Extra. It's just that much bigger than the actual Cricut Joy. It uses common sizing of paper, so 8.5 by 11, which I like. And it's big enough that it's not so small, but still has all that portability. So it's not like you're having to get out a giant machine. Trust me, I have the most giant machines. I love those too. But I see for everyday use how easy this is. And so I'm kind of loving it. All right, so it's going ahead and calibrating itself. It's scanning all of those lines, and then it's going to go ahead and cut that out. While it does, I'm going to come on over here, and I'm going to turn on the big Cricut AUTOPRESS. And I don't use this machine that often, but when I do, it's an assembly line, and this kind of thing is perfect for it. So I've got my t-shirts, and you can be using any t-shirt here. So the first thing I want to do is set it at the right temperature. And to do that, I'm going to look on the app at the Cricut Heat Guide. So I'm just going to type in heat on my phone because I know I have the app. All right, there we go. The Cricut Heat Guide is coming up. And we can show you on the overhead. All right, I'm going to open the Heat Guide. And you're going to see what I'm watching on Netflix. Couples therapy. That show's good. Anyway, this is actually done cutting, but give me a sec. So I'm not going to use EasyPress 2, EasyPress. I'm going to find there, Cricut AUTOPRESS. That's the one I'm using. The heat transfer material is going to be printable iron-on. Diffusible ink, nope. Printable iron-on for light fabrics. And the base material is, it's a 100% cotton shirt. Let me just check to be sure. So I've got let's see, what does it say? Yep, 100% cotton. So that's what I'm going to choose on the heat guide, 100% cotton. And then when I press apply, it's going to tell me to heat up my AUTOPRESS or your EasyPress, whichever heat thing you have, even if it's an iron. So 315 for 40 seconds. So I can come over to my dial here, turn it up to 315 so that it preheats to that. And I'll put 40 seconds on the timer while I take this While that's preheating, I'll unload my mat. And now this is the part that you need to just be most careful about, is it needs to peel off of this paper. And you need just the film off. Try not to rip it so that it's pretty hardy, and it's not sticky at all. But just be careful when you're peeling it off that you don't peel off the paper too. So you peel that off. And now let's place it ever so carefully on our shirt. And now on the heat guide, it's going to tell you if you need anything like if you need to preheat it. So it says preheat the AutoPress, place the cotton shirt without a mat, preheat for 5 seconds. So I'll take the shirt over and preheat the shirt for 5 seconds because it's beeped. I know it's ready. It's hot enough. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is going to help iron this out. And so all I have to do is literally touch it down. And when it's finished preheating, it's going to come on right back up. So it is saying cover with a protective sheet larger than the heat plate. So I'm just going to grab, I should have brought it over before, but I've got some of the wax paper that comes in some of the Cricut stuff in here. So I'll use some of that. Oh yeah. Up it comes when it's ready. And now I can go ahead and put my little Ruby elf right on the shirt. Make sure it's centered. And put that wax paper down. And it takes care of it. It's going to pop up when it's done. And that's basically how you make those elf shirts. I've got Xavier's here. Cute. And Violet's. I'm going to go ahead and print out a couple more for Mike and I. So while that one's finishing, I'll come on back to my design here. And I can save the Ruby elf. Ruby elf. And then it just saves it in my design space profile. And I'll go back. Oh, done. Popped right up. And now this is perfectly ironed on. Ooh, it's hot. Perfectly ironed on for Ruby's Christmas pajamas. All right, let's set this one aside. Let it cool off a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and just print out a couple more. I got a big shirt here for Mike. Let's find, I got a big shirt for me. Let's see. Yeah. So these are just t-shirts I got from wardens.ca. That's where I typically buy my shirts from in bulk. You can check them out. So I'll just put 5 seconds on the clock here because it just needs to preheat for 5 seconds while I do this. It'll pop up when it's ready. And I'll just send a few more of these to the printer. So these are the whole family ones, and I'll just press make it. And, you know, once you have these and the template, you can basically be doing these for your friends. Just sub in their kids' pictures or let them borrow your files or anything like that. So I already did Xavier's. I already did Violet. So I'm just going to scroll right down. I'll do another family one here. And I'm going to press continue. I'm going to send to the printer. And I'm going to make a couple copies of this because maybe I will, there we go, print. And again, I'm just choosing the material. And I'm going to say, remember the material settings, because I know I'm doing a bunch of these, so then I don't have to answer that question every single time. Just, you know, little shortcuts along the way. There's one. Now, you do want to make sure you put this on the mat in the correct direction. Otherwise, it's going to print, it'll cut the wrong way. All right, so I can add this to Cricut. Okay, I can press go and we're ready and it's starting. I have to kind of laugh. I chose like funny pictures of Mike and the kids, but if you zoom in, I chose like a fairly glamorous shot of me. I was like, even when I'm in my elf wear, I still would like to have a nice flow going. You know, it's immortalized on pajamas. I might as well have my eyelashes on. The kids will call me out hard for that, you know. They always do, you know. All right. So it's just scanning those calibration lines, and that's how it's going to know exactly where to cut around. Okay, cutting starting. So if you're looking for a Cricut this year for someone, if you have any questions, please reach out. You can post it in the group or in the comments here. I'll go back through when I'm finished making these and respond to comments. And check out the Cricut website. We'll put some links in. Or you could check out tsc.ca. There's lots of great Cricut deals happening there right now too. All right, while I take this one off, I may as well go ahead and cut the next one because it can be working while I'm finishing up. All right, that can go in. It's remembering the material settings, so that's good. So I can go ahead and peel this one off. Now I'm going to preheat this shirt again because it kind of was a few minutes ago. It only takes 5 seconds, so we'll stick with that. And I'm going to peel this off. Remember, just the outside vinyl edge, not the paper. And I'm just going to peel this away. Place this on Mike's shirt. Center it. Don't forget that wax paper. And down we go for 40 seconds. I didn't catch it in time. I got to put 40 seconds on it. So it's going to pop. And I'm just going to put it down for 40 seconds. It was still on the 5 seconds. So there we go. And oh yeah, I should press go on this one. No sense in doing double duty if I'm not getting anywhere. I kind of think this is the kind of thing that grandparents would like too. And you could put all the grandkids' faces on it, their faces. A few years ago, I don't know if you guys saw on online, they would have like those dancing elves and stuff like that at Christmas. That's what it reminded me of, and it's pretty cute. All right, 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2. Come on. That doesn't get old. All right. It really does a good job ironing. I'm just going to press the bottom of this shirt too, because then it's all ironed, ready for the gift wrapping. Let's put it on 5 seconds and it'll iron it up. Lord knows I'd never iron a t-shirt, so I may as well do it like this. Then it's nice and crisp. I'm going to do the arms too. Then everybody's shirts will be nice and pressed for the family photo. Everyone will think I'm Mom of the Year for having such pressed t-shirts and homemade pajamas. Really, it was just a quick iron-on done on the printer. But still. All right. There's Mike's. And I've got Xavier's here, so I'm going to go ahead and press that one up while that's still cutting. Just be sure to not catch, I'm not catching the actual iron-on without the, if you're ironing over top of the actual printable iron-on, just make sure you have that wax paper on there. Does such a good job pressing these. We'll do Violet's shirt next. I think we're gonna like them. Hopefully they're not watching, and then the surprise won't be ruined. These aren't really the kind of videos they tend to watch. And I'm going to press this one more time, but I'm going to put the wax paper on. I love this idea. If you have a family that's you're close friends with, they've got kids, I mean, you could deliver them 4 or 5 t-shirts for, you know, this is a whole family gift you could do for under $50. I'm sure my nieces and nephews would like these too. Okay. Last one. And I'm just going to do one last one. Send to the printer. Print while I iron up this one. All right. So once you've got the designing done, you can see the actual making of the shirts doesn't take long at all. And because you can use Design Space on your iPad, on your phone even, you can be designing sort of anywhere. All right, press go. So if you have a car trip or someplace like that where you could do some of the designing work outside and kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, That'll make very quick work out of actually making the t-shirts once you get back home and in your space and making. Okay. This violet's all pressed. This one more family one. I also made this. Says homemade. I mean, hey, when you've got the stuff. All right, it's just cutting out. And I can unload. There we go. And I'm just going to do one more. Let's see if this will. Peel this one off. So I will say when you're peeling it, it wants to peel the paper off the back, but you really have to be sure you're just getting the iron-on material. So just peel it. It's harder than you think, even though it's super thin. All right. Preheat this one. Get that wax paper. There we go. And now I'm going to make sure I'm turning that back up to 40 because it was just on the 5 seconds as I was doing my ironing. And then I just need one more bigger one for me. Not a little too big, maybe. Nah, it's PJs. Any day now, this will be skin tight. All right, unload. Up it comes over here as I peel this last one off. There we go. Oh, Ruby, you cute thing. And back down to 5 for the preheat. I like the AUTOPRESS. It has like these knobs where you set the time. It's really quick versus the pressing of the buttons. The AUTOPRESS is on clearance right now on tsc.ca. So I'm just going to heat this up. And it was the kind of thing at first I thought, I mean, do people need, but it's so fast and easy. If you can swing it, the AUTOPRESS is definitely worth it. All right, back up to 40. Get my stuff out of the way here so I can show you all my makes. So everybody is getting a custom t-shirt to go with their pajama pants. No, I did not make the pajama pants this year. But if you've followed along in years past, you've got a pattern for pajama pants. So you definitely could make them yourself. Ruby's going to get 2. So there you have it. Our family PJs for 2023. Honestly, it's only Black Friday weekend and I'm done. Normally this is like a Christmas Eve type marathon. Hey, hashtag winning this year. But you want to know what? It was quick and it was easy with the print and cut and the iron-on, the AUTOPRESS. The Cricut always makes things easy. We've got a little extra one we can give to Grandma. Anyway, I hope you've been inspired to try customizing some shirts. Maybe you'll turn your own family members into little elves this year and, you know, turn an inexpensive t-shirt into something that really brings a laugh and, you know, with the date on it, you'll have for years to come. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a fun hour. We've got lots and lots of crafting happening today. So go ahead and check out Cricut.com for lots of Black Friday deals, or tsc.ca if you're in Canada. And yeah, happy making. We'll see you in a little while.